Exactly.
And a diversity hire.
Canada ain't that bad.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's cold. Trudeau. They put gravy on fries for some reason. I don't know.
The true voice of Quebec. Yeah. Fun.
Yeah, the egg with Down syndrome, yes.
He is an egg, yes.
He is a person.
No.
I assume he is human.
No, it's he's human, we theorize.
It's a far-fetched theory, but it's a theory nonetheless.
Yeah.
The boys in the lab have told us he's probably human.
Fucking hell, I just looked at the recommended bar here on Watch Together Smud. If we cover Renegade Cut's American gun culture video, you have to have me on. I'm reserving a seat for myself on the Smudcast for that video.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, it's mainly because it's like it is a horror thing, and Halloween's close by. It's just like I love
Thanks, Mateus.
Oh dear. Anyway, Renegade Cut. Yeah.
Whatever.
Let's do it.
Content warning. Psychological trauma related to abuse, violence, and grief.
God, I forgot how fucking weird his voice is.
Like, we're off to a faggoty start immediately. We're not even 10 seconds into the video, and he gives a trigger warning about how there's going to be violence in a video about horror movies.
Well, of course.
I forgot how fucking weird he sounds.
Yeah.
It's like he's got negative testosterone, the way he speaks.
I just feel like
he
sounds like a guy who just needs to blow his nose.
He's a gay robot. He sounds like a gay robot.
You said nose, right? Hawk, you said nose, right?
Nose, yeah.
Okay.
What?
I heard something entirely different.
Oh dear.
But that I also agree with.
He needs to blow his... I don't know. I'm actually worried now.
Starts with an L.
Can you guys hear me now? I'm a bit softer. I know that Bears was having a problem too.
What? Oh.
I can hear you guys fine.
I can hear you. Yeah.
Yeah.
I can hear you fine.
Yeah, I just plugged in my mic there, so if you guys can hear me now, great. If not,
Yeah,
I could always restart the call. It's fine. It's not a big deal.
No, I can hear you. If you can hear me,
I can hear
if
you
can hear
fine.
me, clap your hands twice.
Like, if you can hear me, clap your cheeks twice.
I don't know.
Okay, we're fine. We're fine now.
Yeah.
There we go.
All right, fantastic. Let's go.
All right.
Psychological trauma is the result of an
As
adverse...
a result of this image on the screen. Jesus.
Like whoever this is he's fucking looking at titties because he's got neuron activation going on.
Oh my god. This is psychological trauma according to Renegade Cut. Yes.
Here's a flashing
What is the
image of the
result?
brain on the screen. Thanks. That's really helpful.
Anyway, this will cause epilepsy.
Yeah.
Hope you enjoy it. I just love that. Yeah, is the result of an adverse experience that permanently impairs how the brain functions. Oh, so you've watched Maggie May Fish as well, have you?
No, I choose to believe that. I choose to believe that Renegade Cut was like built like He-Man at some point. He was like the
What?
pinnacle. He was the pinnacle of masculinity, and then somebody bashed him upside the head one day, and Clockwork Orange style made him endure hours upon hours upon hours of Maggie May Fish related indoctrination, and then he just degenerated into Renegade Cut.
Well, it's very weird in North and South Korea. I'll give them that.
Yes.
It's a strange place to go to.
And Morocco.
teach-
Let's
Like
not
Morocco.
Let's not go to North and South Korea. It is a silly place.
It's a silly place.
Of Morocco. I condone this. Yes.
Okay. Anyway,
Maybe Renegade was like Samson, and like someone gave him a haircut. That's
he
it.
lost all his strength.
What about Samson? Oh yes, okay.
Okay. Anyway, psychological trauma.
Strange link. I just
No, it makes sense because
Renegade Cut's balls.
no, that's what happened. I was wrong. Somebody bashed him upside the head, strapped him down in a straitjacket, and then Maggie May Fish cut all of his
Cut his
hair
hair
off while spouting her fucking bullshit in his ear.
Yeah, like Samson only got his ponytail cut off. No, like that got his entire hair cut off, so he became like
fucking like they got his
Big gay
top of
now.
his head, they got his scalp, his eyebrows, his beard,
Right.
his fucking eyelashes, his taint, everything's just gone. He's just like a fucking Ken doll, just smooth everywhere.
Well, back to the video. He's talking about how psychological trauma permanently impairs how the brain functions. I'm not sure if that's true. I'm quite sure it's not true. I could be wrong. But we've all had some sort of fright or fear in our lives that freak us out for a moment. Usually in our childhoods, it sort of scars us for life, as they say. But we tend to get over it. We tend to not have brain damage. So I'm curious as to his examples and where he's getting this idea. So anyway, let's continue.
Experience that creates an impairment in actions. This includes anxiety, panic attacks,
Okay, anxiety does not permanently scar you for life. Irritability,
Yeah.
like this is like, okay, you're taking this to the extreme, buddy.
yeah.
obsessions isn't a trauma necessarily.
Well, so being irritable is not a psychological trauma.
Neither is obsessions.
Psychological
It's a
guilt.
word
How is
for it.
guilt psychological? Mm,
Is he trying to? Oh my god, Renegade, off on a shitty start.
Never feel guilty. It's psychological trauma. So just do whatever the
Yeah.
fuck you feel like.
yeah. I mean, guilt is like part of the psyche. You know,
It can.
where your morals are. If you actually have a moral compass, but
Right. Yeah.
some people with psychological trauma might not have moral compasses.
The most I can get out of this is survivor's guilt, and that's it.
Well,
Yeah.
we talk about trauma, we talk about the 5 stages of guilt, or the 5 stages of grief, whatever you want to call. Like you could apply it to many things. It's the same process. You have to mentally rationalize. Okay, this is what happened to me. I was scared as a child, and it stunted my growth, or I thought differently about women, or whatever the problem was. So you could say yes.
I thought women were decent people. I
Yeah.
was wrong.
It depends. So whatever the trauma was, right?
I thought women were decent, and then I met them, and then I got psychological trauma.
Yeah, but there's one thing to have a psychological scar. It's another thing to say you have brain damage. It's like, okay,
Yes. I went on a date with a woman. I have brain damage now.
But that's accurate though.
Well, I mean, they
Jesus.
start talking about their cats and their fucking shopping and their fucking murder mystery TV shows. And
well, in order for this to make sense, he has to explain
Then your
some
brain slowly deteriorates.
some part of the brain changed that can no longer work a certain way. It's like, wait a second. What do we... Did you destroy the ganglia in there somehow because you got scared of a movie?
I will admit, I have felt like I get brain damage sometimes when the girlfriend talks about Machine Gun Kelly. I'm just like,
wow.
Yeah, And she's like, but he's really good. I'm just like, I don't care. What? Okay. Can we just have like a 10 to 15 minute break? She's like, why? I went, because my brain is like going to come out my nostrils if we carry on.
Like, that's like the last line of defense for your brain to keep you from feeling any more pain is to just destroy itself so you can't process what's happening anymore.
Self-destruct.
Like, did you hear that Machine Gun Kelly tattooed his tongue? I'm like, I don't care. There's children starving in Ethiopia. What? Come on. We can talk about more.
Children starving in Ethiopia, and Egypt is building bases around them without resources. I love it.
I'm just like, there's so much more to talk about than these things.
Yeah, so guys, getting dropped on your head as a kid, that would cause brain damage, not being scared of the boogeyman when it's nighttime. So, just clearing it up there. Anyway, let's keep going.
Irritability, obsessions, compulsion, and often negative change in personality. The adverse experiences often contain violence, abuse, abandonment, as well as other devastating life events. A horror movie generally depicts a traumatic event. A trip to a cabin in the middle of the woods turns deadly. An evening of house sitting.
No, I think fucking... Okay, Ash Williams, right? He went to a cabin with his girlfriend and some of his friends. They then got possessed by demons and he had to mutilate them and himself in order to survive the night. I think there's more than just, like, being scared. Like, I think the physical damage and the loss of his friends is a little bit more than just, blanket psychological trauma.
A bump in the night.
Yeah.
He just had a headache. It's okay.
Yeah, that's fine.
My friends brutally murdered each other.
Yeah, I had to cut my own arm off so my demon-possessed hand wouldn't strangle me to death.
Yeah. I got anxiety. I got a little bit of anxiety from that.
Anxiety, yeah. I mean, you get a cool robot hand and an unlimited ammo shotgun as an exchange. Yeah. So honestly, it seems like a fair trade to me.
It seems like a win. Seems like a win-win situation. I'm single and I've now got a shotgun for a hand. Win-win.
Yeah. Like,
Exactly.
I got a chainsaw for a hand, an unlimited shotgun, and no annoying girlfriend to talk about fucking Columbo with. Like, all right, cool. Like, everything's coming up Ash Williams today.
Downside, I lost a girlfriend. Upside, I'm single and I'm never hearing about Machine Gun Kelly again.
Extra upside, I can go back in time and bang medieval chicks and never have to worry about child support because they'll be dead by the time I get back to the 1980s.
Fucking hell. Bears. I'm just seeing that that meme with the thinking. Bears don't need to pay child support if all the kids are dead by 1980.
Child support if all the women in the banger have been dead for 500 years.
Yes. Yes.
You missed all these appointments, Bear. What the fuck?
Yeah,
500 years worth of appointments.
Like, what? I was in the time stream. What do you want from me?
Okay.
Anyway.
House of the Devil is going to cause some trauma. Let's go.
Okay,
Setting for a
cool.
neighbor ends up being not what it seemed. Some other calamity. If the protagonist of a horror film survives the adverse experience, it would be reasonable to assume that they would suffer psychological trauma following its conclusion.
Renegade Cut? What?
Okay.
But she didn't survive the whole trauma with Freddy because the trauma kept happening.
Yeah.
Like, the trauma has to stop at some point to be counted as a survivor of the trauma.
Yeah.
Just because the torturer went to sleep doesn't mean that the torture's over.
We're on transit.
Yeah.
Oh, thank God it's over.
Yeah.
Transit.
They fucking take you from the fucking torture room to your cell. Oh, thank God that was over.
Yeah. We take you from the torture room to like the firing squad. It's like, oh God, thank God that torture's over. I'm a survivor.
Survived. Oh wait, why is everyone holding an AK?
It's like saying like, oh, my grandparents survived Auschwitz until the gas chambers. It's like, is that right?
My grandparents. Oh, thank God it's over when they put them in a gas chamber.
Oh, thank God it's over. Now I have to take a nice relaxing shower.
Oh, what's that smell?
Why are we getting into this? Someone's just slowly watching the stream get demonetized and taken down. It's like,
Smud has turned into a husk, as you can see.
He's fine.
I'm still trying to see where Renegade Cut's going with listing a bunch of movies from the 80s and 70s that were scary. I'm like, yeah, so.
What?
Yeah.
You have psychological trauma.
Yeah, these people that went through these horrific, like, demon-inspired, horror traumas are going to be traumatized afterward.
Oh, we're talking about the fictitious characters on screen. Okay.
Yeah. We're talking about what's her name from Nightmare? I keep thinking Nancy, but it's not Nancy. Is it Nancy?
We'll go with Judy.
Well, what girl from Elm Street? Not Johnny Depp. That's how I remember.
Okay.
That's the only actor anyone remembers from Nightmare on Elm Street apart from Robert Englund.
All right.
Possible
Not
that the
Freddy.
protagonist might heal to some degree, but it is also possible that a recurrence, such as the reintroduction of the traumatic event, might cause greater trauma, or at the very least hinder the healing process, much as it is in real life. In the horror movie Scream, the protagonist, Sydney, has already suffered a traumatic event. Her mother was killed. Arguably, she suffers from anxiety, depression, and even guilt over potentially accusing the wrong man, Cotton Weary. Over the course of the film, Sydney suffers another traumatic event. Sydney survives the massacre revealed to be committed by two people that she trusted, one of whom was her boyfriend. The boyfriend is also revealed to be the mother's true killer. Although undoubtedly grateful to be alive, such an experience will likely result in psychological trauma, particularly as it relates to trust and feeling safe among friends. In Scream 2, Sydney suffers a recurrence of the traumatic event, as a new killer or killers, wearing the exact same mask, begins killing people around her. Sydney's psychological trauma and inability to fully trust someone begins to make functioning in her day-to-day life challenging. She is unable to properly pursue her goal of becoming an actor. In the climax, Sydney begins to suspect her new boyfriend is the killer, something purposefully provoked by the actual killer.
Yeah, I'm sure he's making some points, but I can never watch Scream without thinking of Scary Movie, and I'm just laughing to myself.
Yes.
Well, yeah, I'm just seeing the parody versions of every single scene.
I just see there was a fucking there's a commercial for karate classes. I think it might have been local to where I live. It might not have been. But basically, the Scream guy came in, attacked this little 8-year-old kid, and this 8-year-old kid who was sleeping in a karate gi, mind you, just whooped the absolute dog shit out of the Scream monster. It was fucking awesome.
I'm starting to think I'm starting to believe Renegade Cut just lost all aspects of his humanity. He's trying to understand human emotion right now.
Yeah, but he's doing it through slasher flicks.
Yeah, but
It's like, I am trying to understand trauma. Here's some horror movies.
Yeah.
Okay, so
The 80s.
Okay, so this lends credence to us being suspicious of fucking Renegade Cut's humanness. I was like, I need to watch these movies to understand how traumatic events worked, because I can't.
Yeah, but the thing is, it's like,
that.
So are we talking about so we're going to be talking about the actual fictional characters, so people who don't exist. So this is just silly.
he's trying to create some sort of...
These people don't exist, though.
Yeah, no, he's trying to create some profile or understanding that here's a simulation or the idea of someone going through the death of a mother, the death of a boyfriend, realizing the boyfriend is this. Like, it's just this ridiculous series of events that would never happen to anyone. And trying to say, oh, yeah, this is normal. This is how someone would behave, and their brain would be damaged. And he's like, okay, possibly. Okay. What's your point, sir?
Fine.
Yeah,
sure.
In this fictitious world of 4 or 5 movies where the same character is still alive after witnessing gore and death and murder, like, yeah, that could happen. Possibly.
Yeah, it's like,
It has to happen to people, yes. Also, hello, Whisp.
Yeah, sorry I'm late. Hello. I hear he's saying stupid things about trauma.
He's basing it off the Scream movies so far.
Yeah,
that is not smart.
No, it's not. We know it's not smart.
Of all the horror movies and slash movies I've watched, Scream is the least scariest that I've ever seen ever.
It's hard to be like psychological when it's just a guy.
The dude with the knife. Someone grab a gun. We're good.
Yeah, but there's
Give me 1 second. I'm just gonna.
It's like Scream is like, even like, say if we talk about like people watching it, I don't see how people can get traumatized by Scream. It's kind of tame, really.
Does he mean the characters in the movie or the audience?
Yeah, he's talking about the characters, but I'm also saying like if he tries to portray it as like, no, people who watch it, it's like, no.
Oh.
What?
Horror movies are quite tame, really. Okay.
Yeah.
Anyway,
did I get that right? He said something about brain damage or something?
Yeah. He thinks that
something about
psychological
damage.
trauma causes permanent damage to the functions of the brain. I'm like, well, it might cause some, but not permanent. That's kind of
if you don't treat it, yes, then that would be permanent. Like, yeah, if you don't, if you have a broken bone, broken leg, and you don't treat that, don't set the bone right so that it can heal, then yes, you have a permanent damage to your leg. Yes.
I'll just walk it off. It's fine.
But the thing is, trauma therapy is extremely difficult. Extremely hard. It depends on the severity of the trauma, of course. But there is a difference between monotrauma, which we usually call PTSD, and complex PTSD, which is several trauma events over a long period of time, usually from the same source, which is usually psychological damage. The monotrauma is usually a single event, often life-threatening, or you witness something life-threatening, like a car crash. So you don't need to be part of the car crash. You can be traumatizing just for a bystander. Not for everyone. It's more or less random if that happens to you. The more complex it is, the more difficult to treat, and you don't get what I understand, I learned as psychological trauma, because that is done through psychological abuse. We have a slasher movie. That's physical abuse. That's the threat of death, the direct threat of death. But psychological trauma seeks to erode your psyche, or your soul, or however you want to frame it.
This is the problem I have, because if we're talking about the developing mind, like a child who has trauma, then you're like, okay, I can see where he's coming from in regards to the development of the personality and growing up as an adult. But if you're talking about a grown, like a woman, 18, 19, maybe 27, whatever, who goes through trauma, it's a little different. I wouldn't say it's permanently.
It depends on what causes it. Definitely, because a grown adult, you can completely psychologically demolish with gaslighting. Continued gaslighting over weeks and months and years.
You can have a child be terrified of certain nightmares or whatever, all kinds of different events in their imagination, which will scare the crap out of them. But they grow out of that eventually. So it's not like it's this permanent thing. They're always going to be scared of spiders or whatever. You can face your your trauma.
Oh, that's something else. It's a phobia is something else.
Sure. I'm just giving an external example because with my case, I had these very vivid nightmares as a child, but it didn't affect my waking days and my development in school and whatever. I was fine. So yes, I'm sure it impacts me in some subconscious way, but not to the point where I was inextricably down a path in life that was unchangeable. It's nothing like that.
Yeah, and in regards to changes to your brain, I wouldn't say damages right away, but you could say we in Germany, at least by law, although many people aren't aware of that, PTSD is treated as a physical injury because you can measure differences in the brain from before and after or before and in a PTSD patient. Because, for example, the amygdala grows a bit, which is responsible for your threat detection, pattern detection for threats, as well as I think the hippocampus shrinks a tiny bit, which is the counter-regulator to the signals from the amygdala. So the amygdala signals of the let's say something that induces panic to a stimulus, to a pattern, like I hate the word, but a trigger. That signal is now stronger, and the regulating counter signal that is supposed to lessen that signal, to keep it in check, is now even weaker than before. And this is one way of how a real PTSD trigger can completely overwhelm the brain. There's much more going on in the brain there, but these are problems. And the problem with PTSD is that the responsible memory is not processed through the limbic system. That is what you do in trauma therapy, like because normally your limbic system is active through your dream sleep, your REM sleep, but the trauma doesn't fit through. It's why you sleep really bad when you have PTSD. You have nightmares because it's just not getting through the processing. And what you do in trauma therapy is you use techniques to manually activate the limbic system, as if you put the what is it, handrail? Is that the word?
What?
You move it manually, like you try to activate it manually, and then you go through the trauma. You summon the trauma in a controlled fashion, which is very difficult for the patient. And then you do some other things, but that's mainly it. So trauma therapy is extremely hard because it involves deliberately summoning up the trauma. And then you can process this out almost entirely, especially if you use some aids like MDMA. But that'll take a couple of years until that is standard issue again.
Anyway, back to the movies where we understand the concepts of a personality going through trauma. Okay.
I'd rather just talk about MDMA.
Via screen.
Someone sounds like they're grilling, by the way.
Well, I mean, Tadros is here.
That's just sand in the microphone.
Ah, of course. How silly of me. Carry on. Have a nice day.
All right.
It wasn't me,
Because of
actually.
this,
I don't
not only
believe you.
is he unable to help her in the climax, but he himself is also killed by the real killer. In Scream 3, having suffered multiple similar traumatic events, Sidney becomes agoraphobic and feels unsafe at all times.
Is it really a phobia if, like, the same thing happens to you twice and you're protecting yourself from it happening again?
No, that is justified caution.
Like,
Seriously, that is justified caution.
yeah, like...
Because it seems like there is some killer out there who wants to get you. Somehow get at you.
No matter what happens, she's the target.
So if phobia is irrational, what about her behavior is irrational if she went through this twice already?
Wouldn't you say that there's like people with like a Cindy phobia or something, or a Cindy obsession, seeing the fact that she keeps being targeted by people dressing up exactly the same way?
Mm-hmm.
It's
That'd be Cindyphilia.
yes, something like that.
If you then have a copycat killer, he then has to have the same target as well, of course. Which means even if the original killer is detained or killed, the copycat will then try the same thing with the same target. So yeah, it's justified that she's trying to protect herself.
Yeah.
Completely.
But she never buys a gun, as far as I know.
Yeah, but that would solve then we wouldn't have a movie.
Yeah, that is always weird. It's like, it's a dude with a knife, a kitchen knife
Dude,
usually.
But hey guys, you know what the fucking solution to that is? I'm gonna give you a...
Nice little millimeter.
That's the solution.
Nice little pistol will do all the work. This is a little bitch with a kitchen knife.
No, but she's got a Labrador.
Oh,
Yes.
Well, you know.
That'll
Is that a
stop him.
Labrador? I thought Labradors were black.
Whoa! Racism, honestly.
I'm sorry, I've only ever met black Labradors.
Like, they prefer
Really?
the term dog. They prefer the term dogs of color. Wisp.
Or dog pock.
Dog.
This is Germany. It would be
The dog.
It would be Negerhunde.
I'm glad you added the Hunde at the end, because otherwise we were looking at a lot of
No,
problems.
nigga are pit bulls and Rottweilers. That's a
No,
different.
not with an I, with an E.
Okay.
Oh.
And only one G.
Oh. Oh.
He?
Well, that's okay then. That's
Okay,
fine.
then. We're safe now.
Yeah.
This is
You
so
can't
stupid.
ban this YouTube.
anyway, she's totally safe with her dog. It's fine.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Totally.
That's what everyone's complaining about.
Yeah, and if ever the slasher does kill the dog, she gets a John Wick buff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Just get a gun. Always get a gun. Why wouldn't you get a gun?
Cindy get well.
Oh,
well,
but he's gay.
Besides regulations and bullshit.
Movie made in Hollywood. Why wouldn't you get a gun? I don't know, Tadros.
Oh, yeah,
They
I'm
might have
sorry.
some kind of agenda regarding guns.
I tend to like be hopeful and think people are not that dumb, but you know, I get disappointed.
In theory, isn't this then a pro-gun movie because it shows the protagonist in a helpless situation because she doesn't have a gun in a country where she could have a gun, especially in the circumstances she's in?
Well, I mean,
Unintentionally, I'd say yes.
It didn't work in Buffy, so.
Yeah, but Buffy's retarded.
Yeah, but Buffy's also dealing with a lot of other things than just one bloke with a knife.
No, like.
No. Buffy is okay with throwing tons of grenades at things. Rocket launchers. She's fine with rocket launchers. She's fine with swords and axes. She's fine with crossbows.
Yep.
But guns, no, those are bad and never work.
Aren't rocket launchers part of the gun industry? What the fuck?
Yes.
But okay, if you blow up a demon, then it's okay.
Aren't rocket launchers part of the gun family and like the species in nature?
Well,
So what I learned from Buffy is that it is fine under the Second Amendment to own a rocket launcher.
Oh, or a locket launcher. Yeah.
Nice.
A rocket launcher, yes.
A locket. Yeah, a locket.
The more stressed I am, the more I start talking like Leslie Nielsen. I'm sorry.
A rauncher?
What I remember from Buffy, from Wisp's rants, because I never watched Buffy, was like in the class, someone in the classroom with everyone with MP5s after tear gassing, and the desk stopped that fucking desk, stopping multiple MP5 rounds. I'm like, wow.
But if you
It's three guys with MP5s, one guy with a shotgun.
The shotgun, Jesus.
And he did the thing that people in US movies and series always do when they have shotguns. It's bam, tuk tuk, step forward. Bam, tuk tuk, step forward. Until they are in melee range, where then the target that never got hit by a single stray bullet then knocks the shotgun away. It happens in Buffy and Angel all the time.
And like this is the dumbest thing because like.
And then Mauler goes on with, oh, anime gets away with so much shit. Buffy is awesome. Like, dude, have you watched the same fucking show?
incendiary rounds exist, and the fucking vampires are not immune to fire.
That too.
Oh, except named story vampires. They can remain in sunlight indefinitely and only start smoking a bit.
That
Yeah,
and
but
and shotguns
if they
have good
If
range.
they have perfectly feathered hair, then that helps prevent the sun from getting in.
And even when the named vampires catch fire, it's just for jokes, and they have minutes time to put out the fire that on their hands and arms and wherever. Non-named vampires, they go poof within a second.
But anyway, the point is, everybody listening, buy guns.
And rocket launchers.
And lock it.
That too. I was planning to buy an AK, but then Russian rounds got banned, and I'm like,
What? What?
I wanted to buy an AK. I'm in California,
Oh.
fortunately.
Oh well.
Planning to go to Texas. soon, don't worry.
Shouldn't a place that is jokingly named California have commie weapons?
They should, but
But here's the thing, Wisp. If they don't want the people to have them,
I know.
then...
gonna keep it to themselves. You see.
I know.
Anyway, Renegade Cut.
Yes, back to Scream.
Renegade.
Anyway, buy guns, back to video.
Buy GM6 links.
Yes.
Buy an RPG.
She shuts
please.
herself away, even as another incident is happening. Sydney eventually finds the courage to face the ghost face killer again, this time revealed to be her half-brother, who provoked her original boyfriend into killing her mother in the first place. The original traumatic event. Sydney defeats the embodiment.
So what you're telling me is...
Question.
No, what? Hold on. So what Renegade Cut is telling me is that Scream stole from Fist of the North Star.
Wait,
Because
what?
that is exactly the fucking thing. You find out, okay, Kenshiro Shin whoops Kenshiro's ass, takes his girlfriend away, right? Kenshiro does all the fucking adventures, kills Shin, finds out from Jaggy, his fucking brother in Hokuto Shinken, that Jaggy was the one that manipulated Shin into doing this. Scream stole from Fist of the North Star.
You just said words bears, and I don't know what any of those words mean, but I agree.
There was
I-
a North
I-
Star.
Are you trying to tell me that anime that is so bad and gets away with everything was stolen from to make a superior United States production that is,
No, because
of
this
course,
is
good,
Scream
because
3, and
it
I
is not
didn't even
anime.
know it existed.
I know.
Wait, Scream. There's Scream 5 coming out.
Why?
has it-
Why? I didn't know there was Scream 2 until I started watching this.
Oh, I did. It was
In
the
case
one
anyone has seen Scream 3, because I haven't watched a lot of horror movies.
Also,
How
feel
much
that
of the
Scream
movie is the Scream guy running around without his mask? Or are
I'm
these just
assuming till
collections
the
at
end, you know.
Okay.
Assuming
I- I'm-
because I
I'm-
don't
I'm
know.
also-
I never watched.
I'm also
three.
assuming that the whole her half brother was the person behind everything in the first one is a retcon to try and flimsily connect
Sorry.
the third movie to the first movie, because let's put it this way, Scream was over when the first movie finished. The series should have just ended, because there's no reason to continue.
Yeah, the sore
Once
throat.
you-
They can't scream anymore.
Once you run out of Drew Barrymores to kill, then, you know, you should probably stop making them.
Drew Barrymore. This is like a conveyor belt of Drew Barrymore. Like, yeah, like, shit. We're all out of Drew Barrymores. It's like, oh well. She did marry the guy from Freddy Got Fingered, so hey ho.
Oh god. I'm sorry if I derailed this too much, because I forgot what Renegade Cut's point was here.
No, Wisp, this always
we don't-
This
we're-
always happens with Renegade Cut. He just says things in a monotonous tone, and we just try and find anything interesting to talk about.
Yeah, my
Suddenly
theory.
remember, oh yeah, we're having a cast. We need to go back to the video.
All right, here is.
My theory.
Go ahead.
My theory still stands that Renegade Cut is a robot. That he is attempting to understand human emotion. And I was like, oh,
Is he a
horror.
Zuckerbot beta?
Who knows? Could be. That and the other theory that we had before you came, Wisp, is that he used to be an actual alpha, but then he got a haircut.
Yes. Full on Samson by Maggie Mayfish.
Maggie Mayfish.
Ugh.
Indeed.
Anyway, here is John Doe, the average Joe. Thanks for the tip. I propose a reverse slasher movie where the setup involves a serial killer attempting to kill a person family in their home, only to be hunted down the rest of the movie since that person owns an arsenal of weapons and traps. Ooh.
Yes.
Oh shit! You came to the wrong house, fool.
So Home Alone? What? Violent?
Home Alone for adults?
Pretty much, yeah.
Absolutely R-rated Home Alone. Fuck yeah.
I want this, please.
This sounds like a great action movie, but
And
it would never be made today.
I want
Child
it
killing
starring-
thieves.
I want it
Fuck
starring
yeah.
Macaulay Culkin, who is not Kevin McAllister.
Ooh.
Absolutely, he's not playing Kevin McAllister at all. Personalities are completely different, but he's in the exact same situation now that he's an adult.
Oh yeah. Pitch it to him. Pitch the idea to him. Do it.
Wait.
Do your own action movie.
Mm-hmm.
It'll be glorious.
Oh shit! And if we make him like a Michael Myers type, or like a Jason, like who keeps regenerating so he can never get away from this guy.
Oh my god.
And the guy that he tried to kill initially knows where he is, so he's always gonna be coming after him at some point.
Yeah, he only needs to be. You let him play the calm, unstoppable force with the maniacal grin. The guy who never runs but only walks, but he always catches up with you.
Mm-hmm.
Oh god.
Yeah, but in reverse, he's got a fucking terrified look on his face, and he cannot run.
Oh no, I meant Macaulay Culkin.
Well, yeah, I'm like, Macaulay Culkin will do that too. But no, the sinister face, but the ability to run with guns. Like, meanwhile, the fucking poor serial killer, like, can't get away because
crippled.
he walks so slow.
The movie would be over too quickly.
No, but he's like Jason, so he'll regenerate.
Just like you travel on a plane and he's like walking inside the water.
Yeah.
So he can't access the plane. He's broke. And he can't stop. It's like, I must continue.
Like, we
He
need
goes further down the ocean.
we need to contact Mick Gordon and have him do the soundtrack for this movie.
This sounds like a great action horror comedy.
Yes.
Jesus fucking Christ.
Hollywood, why are you so shit? Why don't you make movies like this?
I know.
Hey,
40 years!
we're making a film about a bunch of cowboys fighting in outer space to get bounties. And it's really cool because it looks good. It has Sam Pilgrim effects. It looks fun.
Hooray.
What? Firefly?
Oh yeah, I'm looking at the Smudcast chat. Tyler Peterson, Ben Shapiro is making an action movie with Gina Carano. Let's contact Ben Shapiro.
Yes.
Tell him
He'll
about
do
this
it.
right now.
Yeah,
You do it, and
tell
he'll
Ben
do it.
Shapiro to make a movie with Macaulay Culkin. That's great.
Macaulay Culkin is a dedicated Nazi trying to kill that one Jew. He can't stop.
I would love to see him actually do a good piece of entertainment. It would be hilarious. If it was in, I was like, "Hey, Ben, that's good. What happened? Forget this political bullshit. Just do the actual fun stuff."
Ben Shapiro, that's good. What happened?
What happened? Ben,
You're typically so
okay?
shit. How did it go all wrong?
Yeah,
where'd it go?
it's just so confusing. You made this really good movie, but you can't get your wife wet, and is she a doctor? I don't know.
All right.
Ben
are you
Shapiro,
okay?
my wife's a doctor.
No, my wife's a doctor. The Ben Shapiro story.
Ben Shapiro story.
And
Okay,
it's all set. It's all set at sea as a metaphor for the dryness of his life.
I fucking want whoever the guy that played Tyrion Lannister. I can't remember his name off the top of my head.
Legit man?
Yes. But yeah, I want the guy that played Tyrion Lannister to be Ben Shapiro in the docudrama.
Peter Dinklage.
Peter Dinklage, yes. Peter Dinklage is Ben Shapiro in My Wife's a Doctor, the Ben Shapiro story.
Oh God.
Oh boy.
Peter Dinklage is the one who's actually trying to chase his wife. Non-stop.
I will say one thing.
It's a midget.
If that movie ever got made, I'd believe Renegade Cut about psychological trauma coming from watching the movie.
Yes.
I'd just be like, oh my god.
He's a survivor, as you can see.
He's a survivor from his wife's dryness.
Yeah. Well, you know, chafing and whatnot. You can be a survivor of that, I guess.
Okay, let's keep going.
Anyway, this video.
I keep forgetting this video exists.
Right.
Of her trauma and tries to live a normal life. In 4, Sydney claims to have properly healed.
Well, there's a
from
fourth
Why
past
are they still
experiences,
making these
even writing a book
movies?
about her psychological trauma. However, because this is a sequel, Sydney is doomed to suffer yet another adverse experience to trigger her anxiety and other psychological maladies.
But life isn't like a sequel. It's like he's accepting. It's like, oh, another sequel. She has to go through this. Yes, it's called bad story writing. It's.
Yes. It has to go through her.
These are bad movies.
Did he say psychological melody?
I don't. I stopped caring what he said. But
Okay, go back a little
I'm
bit.
still baffled.
Just
by
say
Scream 4.
PTSD and not psychological trauma.
Have psychological melody.
When is anybody
The
going to
music
get
of
into a
psychology.
situation- Yeah, but truthfully, when is anyone going to get in a situation where 5 copycat killers go after the same person?
Because she doesn't. She keeps not getting a gun, and they're trying to insist.
Exactly.
She
No,
gets one.
but what? How? Listen, you don't get that many copycat. As in, like, oh, you get 1 or 2 people who copy another one, and they're not that good. But 5 with the same person.
I just want the NRA to come out and reveal, like, yeah, we keep making these movies as pro-gun propaganda.
Yeah.
But
For this.
it's like Renegade Cut's trying to like talk like this is a thing that everyone goes through. It's like, oh yeah, last Tuesday my 6th copycat killer came around. No, my anxiety's gone through the roof. It's like, no,
It's
these
like,
things don't happen.
I think at this point, just get
You don't get copycat killers. You fucking get a guy that cries at you and then goes to the police and cries at them.
and nothing happens.
God.
I know who you're talking about, and yes, that is true. I do get that. It's very strange.
So,
But like,
Now, okay, so that was the first one, Hawk. You have 5 more to go through throughout the course of your life.
I've got like 5 more.
I want to tell you that this woman does not
Just
have
lovely.
a severe level of PTSD because she's gone through this shit. How often? 3 times, 4 times at this point, and she's not a crippling, spasming mess because of the next copycat killer after her. She is still functioning. She's a bit tense, but she's still functioning. If that happened to anyone else, the likelihood that that person would have breakdowns that look like epileptic seizures would be nigh 100%.
But yeah, but at the end of the day, I'm just trying to
You'd
think
have guns.
like in the real world where someone goes through something like this like 5 times, like something like this 5 times. It's like there's like even soldiers don't go through this many things.
I feel
in
like
war.
to her, like at this point, she'd be like, "Oh fuck, just another Tuesday." Okay. Realistically, she'd be like,
this
okay,
again.
I got a gun. I'm prepared. Another guy with a fucking kitchen knife.
Yeah, it's a bit like the Sarah Connor thing, the original.
Cindy's
Yeah.
got a gun.
I know, Bess, I know.
Scream, is this a Scream 4, right? I kind of lost count.
Yeah.
Scream 4, it happened again? Question mark.
Scream if you want to go faster. Yes, the end of this movie, actually.
Scream.
I still know what you did 5 summers ago.
God damn it. Again.
I can't believe he actually titled the sequel to that. I know what you did last summer. Actually, when I still know what you did last summer. I just can't believe.
Still no.
I can't actually believe.
Okay.
I'm like,
Yes,
really?
That's how memory works.
I was like, really? I only remember that movie because the guy who plays Leonard in Big Bang Theory gets murdered, and I was like, yay, kill the bastard.
And any person from Big Bang Theory dying is like a plus, I would say.
Well, I
Yes.
can't remember the fucking blonde hair chick with the big tits. She can survive. She's fine.
Big tits?
Yes.
Penny didn't have big tits.
No, the other one.
The other one?
Yeah.
Oh, movie
The,
or
the,
something?
the autistic nerd girl?
No, a little short blonde one with glasses.
In Big Bang Theory?
Yes.
Oh, I know. You mean the pancake girl?
Yes.
Yeah, she was cute.
Yeah.
Big
So
tit
she can
nerd and
survive.
packing girl. Interesting.
Yeah.
Yes. She's
I'm-
made out of
I'm-
pancakes.
I'm
Preserve her big tits. It's important for our
Yeah.
humanity.
Her voice was too high, that was all.
okay.
That's why they invented ball gags. Wisp.
No, I'm walking around with earplugs most of the day.
What's that, Wes? Can't hear you.
No, we're moving on.
I'm sorry, I'm eating pistachios.
All right.
Moving on.
3 minutes in. We're fine. We're good.
Okay.
The amount of recurring trauma Sydney is absurd. Nevertheless, the progression of her trauma over the course of the first 3 films and her attempts at therapy and recovery in the 4th film mirror more mundane versions of psychological trauma that people in real life face. Watching a horror movie with certain elements that remind someone of their adverse experience could trigger symptoms of their psychological trauma, anxiety.
Then why do you go into a horror movie?
Some people.
This is the same logic as let's put trigger warnings in front of the horror movie that contains horror. Because it's a horror movie with a horrific movie poster that totally doesn't imply that this is a horror movie. So if I had PTSD about some horrific, grotesque, horrible physical or psychological abuse things, I would totally go into a horror movie that I wouldn't know is a horror movie, and then I would be triggered because of the horror. Oh my god, dude,
Like, why wasn't there
you
a
fucking
trigger-
idiot!
Why wasn't there a trigger warning before this horror movie? Like, well, it's called the movie's called "I'm Gonna Stab You in the Taint." I'm pretty sure there's an implicit implication of violence is gonna happen
Yeah,
in this movie.
it's like this. Oh, I went to watch a movie and it like wasn't really nice and it scared me. Well, what was it called? Oh, it was Die Painfully with Sharp Things in Your Head. It's like
Yeah, and it had horrible monsters, horrible, grotesque, super real, hyper realistic monsters on its movie poster.
The poster.
These
Seems
are the
safe to
same
me.
fucking-
I don't know what you're talking about.
These
Yeah,
are
you know
same
the fucking
people.
your trigger warning is the fucking movie poster with the fucking title.
or
That's
it
your
might
trigger
be-
warning. You don't need a fucking trigger warning.
Or Wisp, it might be the age rating.
Like,
Yeah, that as well.
So-
But aside from that, a trigger warning. You will probably mention trigger warnings. Trigger warnings do not work, not for trauma, because all they do is vaguely mention the topic, and thereby your brain fills in the gaps. Because the problem with PTSD is that your pattern recognition for threats that are the actual thing, the actual threat, is lower resolution. That means that things that are similar to the actual threat are now also triggering this panic response. That is why, for example, war veterans also get triggered by fireworks. They know it's just fireworks because the sound is different. But to their brains, it is similar enough that it triggers the panic response and the PTSD flashbacks. That is the problem. So a trigger warning is a low resolution trigger. It will trigger way more people than the actual thing in the movie that you want to warn about. Because the actual thing in the movie may not be like the thing that actually happened, but is this similar enough to not trigger it, as well as at the same time, by being not so close to the actual thing, it allows you to process your thing a little more because you can see something to relate with. This is a bit hard to untangle, but this is generally how it works. So trigger warnings for PTSD are bullshit. And I speak from experience, which is nothing I like to admit.
Yeah.
If you want trigger warnings, do them for epilepsy, for fuck's sake. That's where they are important.
Oh, you.
But that's what SJWs never do.
The people Renegade Cut is talking
should've seen
about
the
are the
intro.
same kind of dumbass people that will go out and buy their children an M-rated game named after a Class A felony and then be surprised when they see their child playing a video game with murder and violence and crime in it.
Listen,
Yes.
Bears, listen. No one really could have guessed Nintendo would do that with the latest Mario Kart. It was completely out of the blue. You know, I mean, it's.
Yeah.
I mean, the things that Mario did to, Yoshi. I mean, that gives you psychological trauma. That just.
Well, I mean, I'm more traumatized with the thing that Mario did to Donkey Kong. That's a bit more of a problem.
Have you seen the giant bananas?
I assume we're both talking about the Flash Gets animation, yes?
Yes, maybe, possibly. I hope so.
You hope so.
I hope so, because if not, there's something worse out there.
Okay, anyway.
With Bears, it's like I hope he's talking about this disgusting, horrible thing, because if not, there's something else worse out there, and I'm possibly going to have to watch it later.
Yes. That reminds me, we still need to watch the.
We still have to watch nothing, Bears.
Yeah, we still have to watch.
We have to watch
Chuck
Robot
Berry
Samson,
video.
potentially.
Oh no, I don't want to watch those videos.
Yeah, we absolutely have to watch the Chuck Berry video.
I don't want to.
We have to.
Can I say no?
No.
Can I just say
No.
no?
No, you can't.
No, comrade, you must join.
So,
Okay.
Go to Gulag.
you watch Chuck Berry video or you go to Gulag.
Oh, Gulag it is then. I get a minimum wage there, supposedly.
Oh, sorry. Did I? Okay,
Yes.
you watch Chuck Berry video and you go to Gulag.
Oh, well,
The difference is that you
get minimum wage in Gulag points.
I'd
Can buy
rather-
Gulag merchandise with Gulag points.
Like the way to
Your
repay
merchandise is the video,
the way to
actually.
repay is more viewings of Chuck Berry video.
We also have Gulag Gacha, where you can spend Gulag points to maybe get food.
I don't know if
Maybe.
this. I don't know if this will actually be a bit too early, but if I'd rather be a cinematographer on an Alec Baldwin movie than watch a Chuck Berry.
Oh no.
Bang bang, he shot me down. Bang bang, bang, hit the ground.
That is so horrible.
Alec Baldwin shot me down.
Bang bang, I dropped to the ground. Bang bang, they know the rest. Shot the rest.
Oh.
I wonder who was the intended target.
I love how
Bang bang, you're gonna kill the rest.
Wait, hang on. The thing is that, Wisp, that's actually a good question. How do you shoot a cinematographer? It's like, it reminds me of that scene on Spaceballs with a killer cameraman.
he did it. What?
He did it.
You know this whole thing of people on set or in theater hating each other so much that this is a common thing, and then some completely unforeseen accident happens to someone in the ensemble or on the of the staff, and it's a complete accident. How could this ever happen? Like there's cartoons about this and crime stories, and it's nothing too new. So that they got the real bullet got in there. Isn't that surprising, really?
Well, it's not the fact it's a real bullet. It's probably because they mixed up the ammunition, because you have blanks and
Live.
no, not
Why do
blanks
you have
and
live rounds at a movie set?
No, there's different ones. There's ones that fire. You shoot the blanks. So, and then because it's like what happened with what's his name, Bruce Lee's kid.
Brandon, yeah.
Because some of the ammunition got stuck, and instead of firing a blank, it fired the actual different ammunition out. So that's probably what happened. Because someone's obviously not checked the barrel of the gun.
I want to put on record, Christian Bale got more backlash for yelling at a guy that walked in front of the camera like 3 fucking times than Alec Baldwin has gotten for murdering somebody.
Oh, good for him. Good.
It's meme-worthy.
Walking in front of the camera.
But the thing is, it's like Alec Baldwin killed someone. Everyone's like, it's not the worst thing he's done.
The worst. Thinking
at least that person doesn't have to deal with Alec Baldwin anymore.
Maybe he's the one who put the bullet in.
At least that person doesn't have to. It's like Alec Baldwin's probably.
I'm going to hell for this.
I think Alec Baldwin's been like, you know something. They made me do Boss Baby 2. I'm killing the fucker on this film. So.
Fucking retribution against.
I did Boss Baby 2. I decided to choose violence.
Anyway, I started banging. Bang, bang.
Is Alec Baldwin the good or the bad Baldwin?
Is it
The good or the what?
bad Baldwin?
There's a good? I'm confused.
Adam Baldwin is the good Baldwin simply because of the fact that he is coincidentally also named Baldwin. He is in no way related to the Baldwin brothers.
Oh no.
Okay.
I'm thinking.
So there's 3 of them now?
Yeah, there's Alec, Stephen, and other.
Alex, Stephen, and Ringo.
Oh my god. Thinking of the, like the old James Bond intro where James Bond shoots the camera. That's how Alec was fucking murdered.
Alec Baldwin thought he was the new James Bond.
But this time, instead of like the CGI blood, it's actual blood.
You don't actually aim and fire, Alec. You just sort of make it look like you do, okay?
Hey, listen. I saw a woman, so I just started shooting. She's like, oh my god, Alec, calm down.
Do you think he was humming the James Bond? Do you think he was humming the James Bond theme at the time?
Could be. Oh
No. Pow.
As he takes another swig of his sweet Jack Daniels.
Okay, this is weird. I find myself unable to summon up the James Bond intro, but instead the Cowboy Bebop music is ringing in my head.
Wow.
That works too. It's okay.
Baldwin's trying to audition for Spike.
Yes. Alec Baldwin would be the better Spike.
Anyway, here's John Doe, the average Joe. Thank you, sir. Trigger warning for your safety. We can't tell you what's triggering because you'll get triggered anyway, so watch the movie to find out what it is and complain about it later. That's why I think these warnings are inherently useless. Well,
yeah, they are. I mean,
can someone do a sped up James Bond intro to Tank and see if that works?
oh god, no.
Oh no.
There's too many
James Bond,
intros.
no time to die. Cameraman
Yeah,
dies.
every James Bond intro is a custom song, so it's kind of
I think
Yeah, but you just cut the intros together into something that works with Tank.
Yeah.
I
Because you
think
have all
they
these monocolor backgrounds with black. I think that works.
no, GoldenEye would actually, I think, work the best for that.
Yeah.
Yeah, you just need to speed
like,
up some of the scenes.
Yeah, boy.
Yeah, just cut them all together over like a video clip of a drunken Alec Baldwin with a gun.
And then you make the monochrome cutout of Alec Baldwin in there somewhere.
I'm sure there's a video somewhere.
We can do this.
Absolutely plastered in his underpants,
Yes,
shouting
Mark
racial
can
panic.
do this, yes.
Come on, we have some super talented people in our audience. This can work. Make it happen.
Someone tells Alex, like, okay, Alex, don't point the gun at something you don't intend to destroy. Got it. Bang.
No, it's like a thing.
I'll throw $10 in the head. It's not much, but it's a start. I want that to.
No, it's like you got to do something for like the crew, you know, like to help. You know, this person's leaving. All right, I'll shoot her dead. Wait, what?
Okay.
I like put down the alcohol and the gun.
Meet Polito, deck 40 PS. Yikes, Yola Chuz. Man, fuck you. I hope you're the cinematographer on the next Alec Baldwin movie. Shut the fuck up, you dumbass.
That's the new insult. I hope you're the new cinematographer for Alec Baldwin.
It was like, I hope you have to deal with Alec Baldwin in general.
So it's official that dealing with Alec Baldwin there, the chances of death are
death
no longer
sentence.
0%.
with an Alec Baldwin in the area, chances of death increase 120%.
You're with Alec Baldwin, you know your free trial of living has ended.
Free trial of living. Anyway, the video.
Anyway, back to the egg.
Alright, trauma and horror, I forgot.
I'm traumatized by Alec Baldwin. But thankfully, I won't have to deal with it for very long.
Alright, there we go.
It's acceptable
Anxiety,
trauma.
panic attacks, etc. However, show that horror movies can also be cathartic for people suffering from this trauma. The victim can be introduced to their phobia, or something that would normally trigger symptoms of
It's
their
not a phobia.
but in a controlled and
You
safe
fucking idiot.
experience. Victims of psychological
Yeah, I'm
Did
a robot. He's a
Renegade
robot.
Cut study psychology or anything?
Oh god.
Okay, first of all,
Wisp, he's
why
a
are we
robot.
looking at... why are
I
we
thought he's
looking at
just
Hassan
some
the
teacher
Hun?
from Northern
Northern
Korea?
South Korea. I don't have to. It's so simple, West. It's Northern South Korea. How could you possibly mistake it for any other place?
It could be Southern
confident-
North Korea. This is Pyongyang and Seoul are right next to each other.
He was so confident when he said it. When he went Northern South Korea.
North and south. I split myself in two to teach.
I couldn't believe he was saying that. I still can't.
Why are we looking at Hassan the Hun right now?
Because yeah.
Are
Anyway,
there
moving
going to
on.
be some fucking chicken tendies in a microwave? Like,
What do you want me to do?
Man,
Die?
those are some damn beautiful eyelashes, man. Look at those eyelashes.
Yeah.
It looks like he combs them.
Combs on them, yes.
Combs.
Whatever, your English pronunciation stuff. Do it your way.
What do you mean?
Just imagine you pronounce it right.
You don't say, "Oh, look at that, a boom." It's a bomb. What the fuck?
Boom.
Look at that loam. What? No, it's lamb. What the fuck?
Hello, watch out.
It's not my fault the English language has no pronunciation
I
rules.
think
Well,
we can
something.
all agree. I think we can all agree that Hassan Abi comes on his own eyelashes.
Yeah, okay, I agree with that.
Alright.
I'm just trying to understand why Wish said coom. He cooms his eyelashes.
Like
Well,
he
that's
combed
he
on his
does
eye.
though.
Okay.
That's the lore now.
But the thing is, it's like she goes,
canon.
"Oh, the way you English do stuff." It's like, well, you know my response to it, Wisp. Maybe if your nation won a couple of wars, you get to decide what words sounded like. But
Oh, Got him.
Mike.
Yeah, yeah. Then
Yeah. Mic drop. Like the
read this poem to me.
I meet Toledo, you're problematic as fuck.
I already know what poem it is. I've already read it to you twice.
You gave up in the middle.
I didn't give up in the middle.
Country can't win wars. Oh yeah, well read this poem.
Read Germany. Read this poem. Britain. No.
No.
Proceeds to drop bombs.
We have one rule in our English language. Now drop the bombs.
It's like.
And that is the
I got no time for spaghetti poems. Just drop bombs. Take your German bassoon of a poem and just elsewhere.
You tell the English like, do you have your own poems? They're like, yeah. Drop a bomb. That's the poem. End of story.
So that way they make poems for us. Because of Britain.
Yeah.
We didn't have time for poems. We didn't have time for poems. We were too busy winning wars and taking names.
No. Britain is like, while dropping bombs, I'm something of a poet myself.
Yeah. Today we're going to play some squash. We're going to get in the tank right now, and we're going to have a good time.
When we say we're playing cricket, what we're actually meaning is we're bombing Germany.
Oh, boy.
Bombs.
And America still calls it soccer for some reason.
Oh, fuck's sake. Who calls football soccer? That's retarded.
Canadians, Americans, and Australians.
They're all retarded. I hate them.
I mean, the Australians even nickname their football team for Socceroos, and I'm just like,
What?
wow.
Socceroos?
Okay.
Socceroos?
What's Socceroos?
Though I did like New Zealand's nickname for their team.
American football, you barely ever use your foot. Soccer, you use your foot all the fucking time.
Fucking
You're forbidden to use your hand, even.
Yeah, Beth,
Even your elbows are forbidden.
But
Yeah,
Beth,
here's
guess what?
the
Guess
thing,
what
no,
New
not
Zealand?
really.
If you're lucky, they don't
traded
mistake
not
your upper
touching the
arm for your elbow.
We traded not touching the ball with our feet for having a sport that isn't faggoty. I think it's a fair trade.
Okay, that's perfectly fine.
Because the
I would say
ball's
Bears.
long, Tadros.
All right.
Anyway.
What, Bears?
I will now eat my
New
bounty.
Zealand's is called. Guess what New
We
Zealand
eat your chicken nuggets in inspiration of Hassan.
No, it's just
No,
bounty.
Wisp was gonna have her mom make the chicken tenders for her. That way she doesn't die.
Anyway,
I can make my own chicken tendies.
Let's
I'm
get-
not Hassan.
let's get back to the
I'm not a
video.
pathetic millionaire who can't even.
We are 4 minutes in.
Sam Habibi, what are you doing?
Oh my God, Smith.
Get out of my room! I'm playing Minecraft.
I'm not a fucking socialist millionaire who has to beg Linus to build him a PC with super technology for
Oh my
free.
God, guys. Come on, we have to carry on the video because hearing Smud's voice, I feel like he's like 5 seconds away from pressing purchase on eBay for that rope.
It's a PC that's expensive than most people's cars. By the way, eat the rich or some shit, right, guys? Mom, where are my chicken tenders?
Yes, let's resort to cannibalism. That is the way.
Let's just go back to Renegade Cut and we can all kill ourselves
yeah.
later.
Yeah, we can talk about left-leaning PCs later.
All right.
Yeah.
That's good. Let's go.
Psychological trauma should read about potential triggers, of course, so that the experience has a better chance of being healing instead of triggering.
What?
In
I need to
short,
hear this again.
Watching horror movies can sometimes... Victims of psychological trauma should read about potential triggers before watching, of course, so that the experience has a better chance
What?
of being
No.
healing instead of triggering.
I like the fact that the guy that looks like Hassan Abi looks like Hassan Abi when he realizes that he's also the rich and he's gonna get eaten.
No. That's too smart. He just realized he doesn't have chicken nuggets anymore.
Okay.
Yeah.
Ran out.
That's a
Now
pretty,
he's having a mental
pretty
breakdown.
poor joke. Nah, I'm sorry, pretty poor joke. That's
I see
joke.
where Tadros is going, because Hassan Abi's just sitting there, right? Just fucking dumping his chicken nuggets and watching JXE videos while he's taking his shit, right?
Oh, God.
He eats all the fucking chicken tenders, and he's not paying attention, so he reaches toward his plate. He sees he has no chicken tenders, and Hassan's like, oh my god, why would the rich do this to me?
Why would the rich do this? God damn it. I'm gonna die now.
Des, stop. I thought you were going to go somewhere else. Don't stop.
Also, Renegade Cut he proves the absolute ignorance of the socialists towards actual real PTSD, because telling someone to read up someone with actual PTSD to read up a trigger list of a movie to potentially watch means you're reading triggers for your PTSD. You bloody asshole! This is a trap for people with real PTSD. All your fake PTSD idiot assholes with Munchausen syndrome on the left, of which there are millions, yeah, they can read trigger lists and trigger warnings because they don't actually have any triggers that affect them. They're just hysterical assholes who pretend to have conditions that are actually life-crippling for people who have them. Fuck off, Renegade Cut. You are an abusive idiot. You are abusive through your idiocy and ignorance. Shut your channel down so you will harm less people. If you actually care about the well-being of other people, you shut your bloody channel down. You are a menace to psychological health.
Fucking Renegade Cut out here doing fucking 2d10 psychic damage every time he uploads a video.
Okay.
Oh,
Alec Baldwin, trigger warning, trigger pulled.
Oh jeez.
This is a reason to get a drink for once.
oh my god. Oh, just. It's the same trigger one. It's just a Baldwin one, and that's it. It's just...
Trigger warning: Alec Baldwin is in the vicinity.
Trigger pulled, too late. I like the fact Meet Polito's like, you guys are problematic as fuck. It's like,
goddamn right we are.
you know who's more problematic.
Ask me my opinions on Israel. You'll find out exactly how problematic I am.
You know who's more problematic? Alec Baldwin.
Yeah, Alec Baldwin is an actual threat to your life. I just say mean things.
I'm gonna die, Jesus.
Oh, that's what that cinematographer was thinking as Alec Baldwin walked into view. I'm gonna die.
You go to the cinema. It's like, trigger warning. Alec might come over and shoot. Oh god.
Oh dear. Oh. Anyway, Renegade Cut.
Right.
Renegade, yeah, Renegade.
Anyway, this person Dio posing in an alleyway.
Renegade Cut, or whatever Black Panther said.
Alright, I have my whiskey, we can continue.
Oh my god.
Oh boy.
Oh no.
Nice. Oh,
Anyway, yes, please continue. Let's go.
Short, watching horror movies can sometimes train to better handle situations in which
So
psychological...
wait a second. You're trying to tell me that horror movies are bad, but they're also good.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, great.
yeah. Problem
trauma
in
is
an
triggered.
attic.
In fact, the victim is
Is
so
this Jar Jar
comfortable
Binks?
with
What
horror
is
movies
happening?
that they may feel
Jar
a
Jar
sense
Binks
of
is
control
turning.
over their trauma. This may be especially useful when watching a horror movie
Oh, this
that
is
is
Maggie Made
particularly
Fish.
relevant to the victim's individual psychological trauma. It,
You close the
chapters 1
lights,
and
that's
2
all you
tell
get.
the story of a recurring trauma that follows children into adulthood. A psychological trauma stemming from a childhood incident is often called an adverse childhood experience, or ACE, and can be especially potent.
That's ace, mate. That's a really bad.
Okay.
Life buffering.
I don't think the kid that gets taken into the sewer by it is going to be experiencing the negative effects of adverse childhood experience for very long.
Or and he's also not going to feel the effects of adulthood either.
Getting killed.
People die.
Or the madness of puberty.
Oh. People die when they're killed. Alec Baldwin's important message.
People
Live too much. Alec was living under a rock of Hollywood. He didn't know that.
Alec Baldwin was pissed off he couldn't get the part of it and decided to shoot somebody in response.
Renegade Cut, do you know what creates adverse childhood experiences?
Being next to Renegade Cut.
That as well. Living
one
under
thing.
socialism.
Oh shit.
Oh come! Oh Wes, come on! Wes, come on!
Wes, that's
Wes.
not true.
Wes,
That's not true.
it's
Wes,
bad
you're
enough
gonna
that
starve to death.
these
No,
guys
you're
really.
gonna starve to death. That way,
I leave
you're
it
not
at
gonna
that.
experience
Yeah,
it.
these guys talk about socialism about everything, and now it's like, yes, there is a negative thing as well. Let's not relate everything to socialism, though. Okay.
Yeah, the thing is, we know Renegade Cut is a socialist. It's like, yes, we know, and he's.
That's
an
right,
idiot.
that's
Yes.
right. That's the only reason I'm bringing it up.
Believes in the he believes in the horizontal hierarchy shit. There you go.
He believes in a lot of
Okay.
things.
He also says I don't remember. He said like he's not an educator or some shit.
Oh,
He's
we
also-
know
Why
that
is he
kid-
making
He's an
videos like
educator.
this?
He's an educator, but he can't tell you how to fix things. Like oh.
He's also
okay,
he's also an anarchist.
Anyway, I'm an anarchist now.
What's your function in life?
Oh, I started
my-
anarchy. Bang bang.
What's my function in life? To fuck bitches and get drunk. Why?
Oh,
What,
in the
what
Renegade
more do you
Cut.
need? Oh, Renegade Cut. I don't know.
What?
Get fucked by
to watch
bitches.
his wife get fucked by Chad and Tyrone.
I
Do you think he has a
anyway.
wife?
I was born in the cuckoldry, molded by it.
I didn't enter my first woman till I was almost a man.
Really adapted to the cockhold.
All right. Anyway, let's keep going.
Anyway, let's go about Ace.
He's
In the
incredibly,
first film,
incredibly
Bill
brave.
has several, including losing his brother Georgie at a young age, and the subsequent dealings with Pennywise. Bill's friends, collectively called the Losers Club, all suffer adverse childhood experiences as well. Many of these experiences are related to Pennywise, but some of these experiences are natural, not supernatural. Eddie is a victim of Munchausen syndrome by proxy, with his mother as the abuser. Beverly is abused by her own father, who has a perverse obsession with her. Richie is bullied on the suspicion that he is gay. Everyone in the Losers Club is already suffering before they meet Pennywise. When the Losers Club grows up and leaves town, they all forget about the events of the film. The town of Derry makes people forget once they leave. Mike, who never left, calls them many years later to bring them
Wait,
back
hold
to
up, was
town
that
to
Allison
face
Mack?
Pennywise again. Although the events that tie both films together are supernatural, they mirror real-life psychological trauma. When Mike makes his calls, we can liken this to a trauma trigger, something that reminds the victim of the adverse experiences and induces symptoms of the psychological trauma. For example, when Richie answers the phone, he becomes physically ill. When Eddie answers the phone, he loses control of his vehicle and crashes. Bill begins stuttering again,
Yeah, it's
as
a
he
shock.
did when he was a child. When Stanley answers his phone, he commits suicide. Although Stanley's suicide is later revealed to be more complicated than simply the result of the trigger, it does mirror real-life suicidal ideation stemming from psychological trauma. The now adult Losers Club is also still affected by their more mundane traumas. Beverly is trapped in a cycle of abuse, this time with her husband. While the events of both films might be challenging for someone to watch if they suffered an adverse childhood
call that
experience,
mundane.
it is also possible that the victim might gain a catharsis, so long as they know ahead of time any potential triggers in the film.
Oh, okay. So you could commit
No.
suicide. You could, go into a nervous breakdown and get to a car accident, or you could feel better. It's all possible.
Hooray!
The only
Correct.
thing that knowing ahead of time that there will be a situation where the Horrible stuff is going to happen because knowing about it is already a trigger. That there will be a thing. Knowing that there will be a trigger is in itself a trigger. All it does help is that you can mentally prepare yourself for the situation instead of being steamrolled by it. The problem with PTSD is that when something happens that triggers it, and I fucking hate that word due to the SJW's overuse of it, when it just comes out of the blue, you have no preparation and it just overwhelms you. If you know it's up ahead, you get anxious, you get tense and everything, but you have time to mentally prepare so that it won't steamroll you. You can still have the maximum breakdown, but you have a likelihood, even if it's just single-digit percentage points, that you can make it through without the severe breakdown. That's all. That doesn't mean catharsis. I don't know where he gets that from. You could get something like that if you could get some resolution through the situation, like a rectification or healing of the world to a state that it should be in.
There's lots of films,
like a grand apology or or trust restored or something.
There's lots of films and books and video games, whatever, that people can go to when they're having problems or issues in their personal life that they say, oh, this game made me realize X or Y. Sometimes it's not anything specific to the game, like about their trauma. We hear this about games all the time. I hear it about people in the comments section. I don't know how valid this is. This is Facebook, of course. But over the years, you see these fan groups of Mass Effect or KOTOR. Like, oh, I went through this part of the game and it reminded me of this or that, the death of my dad, which really has nothing to do with family members or specifically the death of family in certain parts of the game, but because it had to do with emotion of people going through something. So if that's what he's getting at, and we could talk about catharsis, that's a very classic idea going back as far as
you don't necessarily need you don't necessarily need trauma in order to get catharsis. Like the examples you bring up, that's more related to grief alone, and that can be stuck too in your system. So it's something that helps you get some release because there was something you didn't manage to process at the time. That is very helpful. There's also something called complex grief. That is grief that basically you fail to overcome. It's similarly stuck to PTSD, but on a much greater scale. It can be life-wrecking and can, just like severe PTSD breakdowns, induce adrenaline poisoning, which is what people then get heart failure from, which is why that is also called broken heart syndrome. Little tangent here.
Okay.
Watching children grow up and return to face the embodiment of their trauma can be very satisfying. In the Babadook, Amelia is still grieving the loss of her husband. She is depressed and has fears about what this grief is doing to her son, Samuel. She reads a book to Samuel called Mr. Babadook. The creature from the book begins to stalk Amelia and frighten Samuel. The Babadook, much like grief itself, cannot simply be defeated. As it is said in the film, you can't get rid of the Babadook. When the grief monster faces off with Amelia, she shouts that grief cannot have her son. She won't be destroyed by grief, and she will stay as strong as she can to protect her son from it. In the end, the Babadook is not slain, like some slasher villain. Instead, it is contained and even fed, a metaphorical stand-in for therapy and healing, perhaps. Trauma must be treated instead of ignored.
I haven't watched the movie, so I can't comment on this.
The Babadook is a therapeutic film for those suffering from the grief of a lost loved one.
What?
That is the fucking dumbest weakness for a fucking monster. Like,
but also, why would you? The Babadook is the best.
In overcoming the monster is the weakness?
No, it relies on you being sad.
Oh.
Well, the thing is that what he described here is grief that you can't overcome. It's what we call complex grief. That is something that is stuck, that requires therapy. So much is true.
I can't get over
But
it. If you're
you
not sad
you
anymore,
you,
the
you need
monster goes away.
something.
What?
You need some external help in order to overcome this. Like a cathartic moment. You can't keep feeding this thing. There is a way to get out of that. Because think of it as an emotional loop that you can't escape from. You need some outside help to escape from it.
Well, so far we've had
But
most.
the way he describes it is not how that works.
We've had a bunch
The
of
way he
movies about.
describes it is like, keep feeding it. It's fine.
Yeah, it and this movie, psychological or magical creatures that come and kill you based off your emotions. Scream, contemporary guys, a bunch of guys, copycat killers with a knife.
Like these movies, complex metaphors for psychological trauma. Scream, a guy.
Yes, I can see how he came to the idea for this video, but his comprehension of the topic falls short and
Very short.
and WizardVision in the chat said something good, which is Pennywise has been around for centuries. He's technically the result of all their PTSD since birth, because he has control of the parents in the town. This is a terrible example.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, makes sense.
Okay. Anyway, we're almost done, so that's always a relief.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or any psychological trauma that feels like a monster stalking its victim. The 2018 film Halloween features a story of agoraphobia, paranoia,
triggered this
anxiety, alcoholism, and post-traumatic stress disorder. Although Laurie's trauma and how she deals with it is quite over the top and elaborate, the portrayal
But buying guns and getting a fence is elaborate.
I'm sorry I can't comment on the movies.
Renegade Cut.
Yeah, I
like
haven't
everything
I
that
haven't
Lori
watched
did
this movie.
in the 2018 Halloween makes sense considering who she is up against.
And
then again, in all of Scream, not a single time the main character gets a gun. So maybe that's why it's considered. Oh damn, it's excessive.
It's excessive to do anything to protect yourself.
Self-protection, you crazy woman.
No, comrade. Just let the government deal with everything. You'll be
It's
safe.
like, they'll get to it eventually, maybe.
Yeah.
You know that the guy Scream with the Scream guy, the murderer with the knife, she actually has a gun. It's like, whoa, lady,
Whoa.
that's a bit too much, don't you think? Excessive much. Oh my god.
Oh dear
Keep
me.
going.
This
So
guy.
imagine freaking Cindy and Scream just pulls out a gun and kills Shaggy and the other guy.
Kills Shaggy and the other guy. I mean,
But Ken?
the actor has a name. He's got a
Give a fuck.
The actor has a name.
Like, there's a fourth member of the Beatles too, Hawk. I don't give a fuck what his name is.
Yeah, his
Ringo
name's
Starr.
Pete Bear.
No, Ringo's the third guy.
What?
You mean George Harrison?
Yeah, that one.
One, this guy, yeah.
This-
God.
There's been plenty. There've been a number of Beatles actually over the years, but yeah, you're right. Okay, fine.
Yeah,
Like,
it's
there's
yeah.
two who matter. There's one who I can actually remember his name, and then there's the other guy. I don't care.
Yeah.
I don't
and then
know a
there's-
single Beatle member.
You don't. What? Really?
I never.
He's Egyptian.
You've never heard of John Lennon? That's some-
John
wow.
Lennon? What?
John Lennon, Paul McCartney. None of this is ringing a bell.
I think I heard John Lennon once, and that's it.
Oh,
I heard Beatles. I heard of the group Beatles, and then like I never bothered.
how many times have you heard Yoko Ono?
Yeah.
She's
People
not the
made
fourth
songs
member.
about John Lennon's death.
Yeah, she's not the fourth member, guys. Okay.
Well, no, she's the fucking the reason why they don't exist. Why the Beatles stopped existing.
Well, there's another reason why the Beatles don't exist now, but you know.
Well, I mean,
Got shot.
Catcher in the Rye mostly, but yeah.
Also cancer as well, which is Dr. Georgia Harrison.
Okay. Anyway,
Well, who cares?
That's
Who cares what the
anyway.
other guy died of, Hawk?
Well, because he's the other guy,
Okay.
and now we're just stuck with Ringo and Paul. It's like
Oh.
the two cool ones are gone.
What? Okay, John Lennon's the cool one. All right.
anyway, let's go.
Yeah, that's what I think.
No.
Of someone suffering from post-traumatic stress following an experience rings true. The promise of the ending of a slasher movie is that the final girl is now safe. However, that is often not true, and Halloween 2018 exposes this. 40 years prior to the events of the film, Michael Myers stalked Laurie Strode on Halloween. Laurie was able to escape, but not without psychological damage. Laurie raised her daughter Karen to fight, to shoot, to potentially kill, and to be fearful of the world. Laurie eventually lost.
You don't need the last one, but the other ones are all good.
Yes,
Yeah.
like being able to defend yourself is a good thing, Renegade Cut.
You know, especially with a girl who, according to your political stance, lives in a rape culture.
Yes.
Yeah.
No, Wisp, just use a small amount of pepper spray.
Yeah.
That'll stop them.
Or you could
One
pepper them-
weakness.
or you could
Enough
pepper
to
them
spice
with
up a
bullets.
normal-sized meal.
Or you
Okay,
could-
I don't know about the Scream movies except like the first one. Did she ever use a pepper spray at least?
I don't
I
know.
don't fucking.
You know the best way to
Imagine
defend
she-
yourself
Oh,
against.
since
I don't think
Right.
she did.
If only more like women would just hire an Alec Baldwin, there'd be no more dangers. You just,
Well, I think that would also like Alec Baldwin doesn't seem to have a specific target. It goes for everyone.
It's like, you know.
you need to buy blinkers for him so that he keeps on
Alec-
top.
Collateral
Alec
damage,
Baldwin is like a
100%.
grenade. You just fucking pull the pin on him,
You just-
throw him somewhere, and then get into cover.
All the bullets are shrapnel, actually.
Yes.
Just
Oh,
for the camera guy.
Alec Baldwin.
Everyone else was behind cover, and
Oh,
the
You
cameraman
got,
was
your,
just
you got your
confused.
standard incendiary Alec Baldwins, you got your fucking stun Alec Baldwins, you got your anti-personnel Alec Baldwins, you know.
No, Bears, it's not that.
Oh no!
There's Alec Baldwin. There's no bad tactics. Only
Only bad targets.
There's only the Baldwin. There is no stud, only Baldwin. Just imagining everyone else going in cover when Alec Baldwin is in the shot and the cameraman is confused before he dies.
no, the camera. The
It's like,
camera.
why is everyone taking cover? God.
What's this red
why?
stuff coming from me?
Alec. Why? And Alec.
Oh dear.
God.
Anyway, let's just finish this video off because
Yes, we're almost done.
Almost done.
Custody of Karen due to this extreme. Although one might claim that the events of the film show that Laurie's fears were well-founded, in the climax, Laurie
Yes.
admits to Karen that the way she raised her was wrong, and that it
Why?
was the mother's job to protect the daughter from Michael and other threats, not to train.
Which she successfully
But,
did.
She can do both.
Exactly.
Protect her from the threat until she is ready to deal with it herself. That's the point of parenting,
Yes.
Mr. Oedipal idiot.
Until you're incapable of protecting her.
Yeah,
anymore.
because what happens if you die and she's not ready? Then you failed as a parent.
Yes.
That's
Nice,
why the
love
message
that.
of the end, the final message of the movie of her is wrong.
Yeah.
Oh,
Just
well.
gets a heart attack in the
that my
middle of the fight.
tactics. I know that my tactics are literally what saved our lives 5 minutes ago, but I was wrong. I'm sorry. I should have baked.
Because guns are bad.
I should have baked cookies.
Oh
more.
my god.
Yeah, should have used a rocket launcher, not a gun, because guns are bad.
Could have
Rocket
used an
launcher.
RPG. Could have used
I should use a locket launcher because guns are bad.
Should have used an AT launcher.
You should have used an
Blow
Alec
that.
Baldwin launcher.
Should have used Alec Baldwin.
I should just use the Alec Baldwin in my back pocket. Just
Pocket Baldwin.
Pocket Baldwin.
Fucking Dale Grimble reaches into his pocket, pulls out Alec Baldwin. Alec Baldwin shoots the dude in the eye.
No, he just shoots the guy who's carrying him because he can't. He wasn't looking.
Oh, Jesus fucking
Alec Baldwin, you were supposed to shoot the enemy. What the fuck?
Why me?
All right, here's Mariner 1712. If any of you call it a prop gun that fires blanks, I am going to Alec you.
Oh, Alec has become a verb now.
Yeah, you know, that whole news thing was like, it's a prop gun that killed someone. Like, what? That doesn't even make sense.
Become the Baldwin.
Props have no firing mechanisms.
Yeah.
That's why the props.
Anyway,
yeah.
prop guns. Good stuff.
Reject modernity. Return to
Alec
Baldwin. Return to Baldwin.
Yes.
Baldwin
what
is
she calls a cage. Bear in mind before watching the film that Halloween is not always great with its representations of the mentally ill. Even ignoring Michael, the other patients are portrayed as nearly inhuman, howling and making animal sounds. I hope this has been...
Renegade Cut.
Oh no, we're back to Hassan. Shit.
Renegade Cut.
Hold the fucking phone.
I work
Hold
in
the
Portland.
phone.
I work in Portland. They do that. But the only difference is they're not chained to anything. They're just allowed to fucking roam around and do whatever the fuck.
Today at work, we drove past a bloke, and I swear to God, this guy did not even know what fucking planet he was on, or year. He was so out of his fucking head, mentally. There was dribble all down him. Yeah, they act like that. The mentally ill act like that.
Oh,
Have you not seen? Do you not go to pride parades?
Also, why is Hassan Abi talking to Stephen King?
He thinks he's a therapist. Who knows?
With severe enough PTSD, the psychological pain you go through in a breakdown can be so severe that you scream until your voice cracks. It's not fun, neither for the person going through it nor the people who have to witness it.
Yeah.
Even if they want to help, because that is ear piercing. And it's not something the patient wants to do. It's just too much pain.
Just imagining Hassan right now talking to Stephen King. He's like, Doc, they told me I gotta make my own food. He's like, what's wrong with that? I'll die!
No, Stephen King is making...
What, Doc? I have to pay for this therapy? You're not giving it to me for free?
No, Stephen King
I'm
is
gonna be
writing
poor!
Stephen King is writing a chicken nugget-based horror book, and he needs an expert to consult with on the subject.
he needs an expert with nuggy trauma.
I just...
God, Jesus.
Okay. There we go.
Alright, let's go.
To stream.
30 seconds.
No quick fix or perfect cure. Taking treatment and receiving proper medication are the best ways to process the pain. Horror movies and other
You don't
exposure
process
methods
pain.
are helpful but are
What?
only
Wait.
supplementary.
That
Yeah,
What-
you
what
somehow
the fuck?
fuck up words. I don't know how you do it, but you do it. Like a miracle.
Renegade Cut, you do not process pain. You do not. That makes no sense.
Tadros, I like that fucking... It's like a miracle. Like, fucking...
It's like
Medication does not help you to process pain. What the fuck are you talking about?
Medication helps you.
Do you know what
process
words
pain.
mean?
Renegade Cut is like the fucking divine intervention with his stupidity.
This cannot be from a normal person.
So guys,
it has to be from
This
some
has to be
divine.
from some kind of otherworldly celestial being.
I'm going to talk about...
Fucking Renegade Cut is a biblically accurate angel. He's just like 5 concentric
Be
wings
not afraid.
with eyes and wings on it.
Guys, I'm going to make a video at 10 minutes long talking about movies which may or may not trigger you or make you feel better. Just in case, here's a bunch of phone calls you can make to people who want to help you if you want to kill yourself after watching my video.
Who are paid to help you but actually don't.
National Suicide Prevention Hotline. Hello, yes, we know, Renegade Cut, don't worry about it.
Sorry, we're
getting an influx.
We can't help right now. We're inundated with phone calls. Yes, people have been watching his video.
We're at capacity right now.
So, what's that? You watch Renegade Cut?
Renegade
Baldwin.
Renegade Cut's the sort of person who could work for the Samaritans, and like people would commit suicide after coming off the phone with him.
No.
Oh, trust me, there's therapists and care staff where you do rather want to kill yourself afterwards.
Renegade Cut did one day at the Good Samaritans. 8 people killed themselves. It was called Lemming Sunday.
One of the National Prevention Hotline, one of the callers is actually Alec Baldwin. He's gonna help you. But in the way you expect.
Mm-hmm.
Why would you?
No, you mean he's gonna help with your suicide?
Yeah, why would
Probably.
you
You never know.
ever end your video saying like about health things? Here's like the National Suicide Prevention. It's like, man, don't end your videos like that. Just, ugh.
There are some nationalists who will prevent your suicide, maybe. Who knows?
It's like, hey, I'm helping my audience who want to kill themselves. It's like, okay, are you...
Thank you. You fucking psycho.
Are you attracting the right people for your videos, and why are you doing it that way? Like, what's the point of this?
Yes, you see, mental health helps you process pain.
People seem to watch my videos and they just seem to kill themselves.
If you're still alive at the end of my video, call this number.
Call this number. I want to make sure you watch the next video.
If you haven't killed yourself, please like and subscribe. And join my Patreon.
so that even if you're dead, at least I'd have the subscription numbers.
Oh
Put down that razor and click subscribe. Yeah, okay.
Put down that
Undo that news. Untie that
Save
news.
that news. Save that news for later. Oh my god.
Just thinking of all the ways they can put that lid back on that tablet's bottle.
Whoa! Turn your engine off and go outside, and then call these up.
Call this hotline so I can have more views, please. I'm not getting feedback. Everyone seems to be dead.
No, like, okay, I just imagine fucking Renegade Cut gets kickbacks from, like, this fucking National Suicide Prevention Hotline because he keeps giving them people.
He's getting people to talk to.
Yes.
Without Renegade Cut, we'd be out of a job.
You know what the shitty thing about these hotlines is? If your problem goes beyond, oh, I just need someone to talk, they can't help you.
Yeah.
No.
If you have a serious problem, they won't be able to help you. Some even will... Well, they will be very, very dismissive.
Yeah.
That's true.
Or you'll end up
I like
talking-
was
end
the
up talking
vision.
to Bullseye.
Like was the vision saying, Johnny Cash, I process all the pain. The only thing that's real.
You can have it all. My empire of dirt.
My empire. Dude.
My Northern South Korean empire.
So my empire of dirt.
My
Literally, yeah.
empire.
Oh, well, let's just finish this off and get to streaming because I just can't stand the
20
guys
seconds. There we go.
voice anymore.
Please have a Patreon plug right after the suicide.
If you are
hotline
suffering
plug.
from untreated psychological
God.
trauma,
Please.
here are some resources that might be helpful in beginning the healing
If it's
process.
untreated, how do you know? Okay.
That is
Whatever.
not, the suicide prevention hotline is
Yes.
not beginning any healing process, you bloody idiot.
Pure flicks.
You are
romance.
most likely going to feel more lost and more hopeless after calling that shit.
Yeah.
I just want to fucking point out Jeppy Fruland.
What?
The fuck kind of name is that?
Oh, is that in the Patreon?
That's
Jeppy,
oh god,
Jeppy Fruland.
this is a scary number of German names here.
Okay, so it's Wisp's fault.
Yeah.
Jeppe Frolund, that sounds Danish.
Like,
Or Netherlands, I don't know.
Chris Salcedo Q Jimbo.
What?
This guy just.
I have no idea.
Fucking
Gable
cute
family. I'm trying to look if there's Baldwin here. I wish. Has to have a hand in
This
this.
Baldwin, Alec Baldwin.
He has to have a hand in this.
All right. Let's get
Oh,
the streamers going.
that is series. So many German names.
Oh my goodness.
Oh no.
I
guess
feel
I missed some
horrible
yesterday.
reading this.
Oh no.
Banana and bubblegum pizza? No, that's not a thing.
Go away.
That can't be a thing.
Like, stop. Skip the pizza. We're
Pineapple,
doing-
that's great.
We're not doing this. No.
All right.
Yeah, Mark. What?
Mark
Yeah.
it for
I love it. Yes.
Yeah.
It's beautiful.
It's perfect.
It's exactly how I imagined it.
Ready to read the poems now, British cunts?
Da-da-da-da-da-da-da.
Hassan the Hun be like,
Okay.
Oh no! The
mysterious
last one.
stranger.
There we go.
Oh my.
I love that Mysterious Stranger one.
saving
I've got
that
it.
I'm saving
I gotta
that
save it
one.
as well.
Oh, shit. That's beautiful. Yeah. Good. With the Chad Rose with the clutch.
Oh my god. Oh my
I just
god,
love
it's
the fact-
fucking Baldwin memes and a British poem meme.
I don't think I need to explain the mysterious stranger from Fallout. Pretty good staple.
Yeah.
So,
hmm
yeah.
Especially Mysterious Stranger. Who is he? What does he do? Why does he help? It's like he just shoots cinematographers in vans.
Cinematography.
Alex actually aiming for someone else, but he goes like, this other guy's got 100% hit. I'll do that
Tried
one
to do
instead."
that. Oh my god.
Oh.
This was-
God, I'm so glad Alec Baldwin killed somebody earlier.
God.
We wouldn't have all these great jokes of Alec Baldwin that just made him move.
True. It's
Yeah,
like
if he just
it's yin and yang, you know?
If he
Balance
just-
is all
if
it should be.
if he'd just been a decent person, I wouldn't have a good laugh today. So,
Exactly.
Yeah, we would be. Yeah, if Alec Baldwin had been a good guy and he accidentally killed somebody, we'd be feeling bad for him right now. Instead, we get to
Yeah.
make fun of him in perpetuity.
He's an
He helped
idiot. I love it.
he helped make a Renegade Cut video bearable. So
Yeah. For a horrid deed.
yeah, for an incredibly horrible deed.
It
Yeah, well
requires
done.
someone to die, someone to be sacrificed in order to make a Renegade Cut video bearable. I do not think this is a justified price.
Well, Wisp, it was life had to be sacrificed either way. Either it had to be sacrificed before the video or by one of the people that watched the video.
Yeah.
Thanks, Alec Baldwin,
Somebody had
for
to
the
die in this
sacrifice.
equation. Yes.
Alec Baldwin was the one who presented the sacrifice.
Yes.
Baldwin
Went in.
All right. I gotta piss.
Anyway, guys,
stepped up.
here's
Go
two
on,
more
say
super chats that I
What?
missed from Mariner7012. The gun that fires isn't a prop. That's true. And here's Mariner7012 one more time. Stephen King's nugget expert is Chipman's dream job.
Oh.
Didn't think of that. I don't know. Chipman's kind of all over the map when it comes to, well...
I don't think Nuggets alone can sustain Bob Chipman.
Yeah, he might need a bit more and more different kind of sustenance there. But yeah, he might like doing that. I don't know. But either way, thanks guys. That was kind of weird and crazy. Don't think I'd ever consider myself making a video on trauma from watching horror movies. That's a bit stupid, but that's why we watch this guy. So thanks guys for tuning in. Thanks for the suggestion actually the suggestion was not from anyone. It came from it came from Mateus, who just says do A, and we're doing A. It's like, all right.
Thanks, Mateus.
Yeah. So thanks, Mateus. Have a great time for tuning in.
It's fine.
The democracy is beautiful, isn't it?
Discord now demands a video.
Yeah.
Thanks, Mateus.
Yeah.
So tyranny.
Anyway, keep them coming next week, on Friday, what that means, so everyone can relax till then. And hopefully things won't be as nuts or as crazy. We don't know what we're doing yet for Maggie, but it's always a good one at this time of year. She has something.
The last one was weird.
Well,
Dunn usually finds good.
I think they're all weird, really.
I forgot what it was, but it was different.
You doing a Maggie tomorrow?
Next week.
No, next Friday.
Next week.
It's like, oh,
Fucking
geez.
hell. Renegade Cut and then Maggie Mayfish? Jesus fucking Christ.
I was concerned reasonably.
I don't think I've got enough alcohol in the household to do both of them in 1 week. I like my life now. I'm not as cynical and wanting the sweet embrace of death as I used to be. So.
Hey, that's good. Watch Maggie Mayfish. That can be a Alec Baldwin quote. That can be arranged.
Hey Hawk, do you want to be a cinematographer?
Hey, Hawk, come on. Alec Baldwin's gonna be the star.
Gonna make you a star, kid. Just stand in front of his gun.
All right. Thank you guys for your suggestions. Thanks for the wonderful chat times, and have yourself a great evening.